What's up, everybody? Thank you very much for downloading and tuning in to the Transatlantic Sports Show. Give us a follow at TASS_UK for all your football and baseball needs. We're really turning our attention now to the MLB because it's baseball month, baby. 1st of June at time of recording, and that means later this month, 24th and 25th. You might as well throw the 23rd into that as well. But the 24th and 25th is when we have actual MLB baseball games taking place right here in London at the London Stadium. The last time we had baseball here was 2019. We know what happened after that. But thankfully, the two teams that were promised to us in 2020 and the pandemic hit are coming over as baseball returns to the UK. It is the Chicago Cubs at the St. Louis Cardinals at London Stadium. And I am sporting my Chicago t-shirt, the Windy City, because one of my favorite guests is joining us to talk all things Cubbies and perhaps a bit of Bears as well. And that is Jeremy Diemer from the Wrigleyville Nation podcast. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Welcome back to the show.
Anthony, always great to be here. Thanks for having me back. And yeah, we are in June. We are talking Cubs baseball. We are talking London series, and I'm excited.
Man, it only seems like a couple of weeks ago when I had you on, and that was at the very start of the season. The night before, I'd been to an MLB Europe party, opening day, but it was a week after opening day. So, opening week party, and we got this nice tankard. If you're watching on YouTube, right behind me, there's a flask there with the MLB World Tour. It's got the Cubs logo on it and the Cardinals logo on there. But it just seems like I said, a couple of weeks ago, now we're over 2 months into the season. It was like long into the future, that MLB game coming over here. We're getting so excited, and now we can almost taste it. It's like the Chicago mustard on hot dogs.
I'm glad you said mustard and not ketchup. That is the correct answer.
I have done my homework.
Yes, and since last we chatted, a lot has gone on in the world of the Chicago Cubs. I mean, mid-April, there was so much optimism because the team got off to a really good start and we were very excited, but the month of May, just brutal for the Cubs. 10-18, including losing 2 out of 3 at home to those St. Louis Cardinals, who the Cubs will be playing in London. So it was a tough month of May. The only shining part through all of these Cubs struggles is that the Cardinals also struggled. They are off to a horribly slow start as well. A lot of their key players were not playing well out of the gates. Nolan Arenado is front and center. So the good news is the Cubs and Cardinals are right neck and neck at the bottom of the division, which is the most surprising part. But as the Brewers are atop the division at the time we are recording, the Cubs and Cardinals at the bottom, they are going to, these London games are going to be so important to the standings now. A lot more. We were looking ahead. We're like, well, could be a big gap between the teams. Could be that. Now we look at it here as the calendar turns to June, and wow, these 2 games are going to mean a lot in the standings and the run up to those games. So people should be paying attention, not just to those games, but the run up to those games are going to determine a lot of what the Cubs' path could be going the rest of the season. If June looks like May, then we're heading to another Cubs sell-off at a trade deadline. If June, looks more like the stretches we saw in April, then they might go out and add some more talent to this team to help them compete with the likes of St. Louis and especially Milwaukee at the top of the division.
Yeah, Milwaukee, they had back-to-back games against the Blue Jays just the other night. Last night at time of recording last night over here in the UK. Obviously, it was early doors and then into, I guess, late afternoon for you guys over there. And it was 1-1. I think it finished up in Toronto. So didn't quite help you out on that front. But, we say it's only on paper, but, it always looks good on paper. But there's only 5 games back from the Brewers at the top to the Cubs down there at the bottom. I'm sorry. But yeah, literally all to play for coming into London.
Yeah, Milwaukee only 3 games over 500. So Nobody wants to win this division. This division is bad, to be clear. So there's a lot of bad teams in this division. So it's available. Only 3 games over 500 is Milwaukee at the top. So anybody, it's early still in the season. So with these small sample sizes, things can turn around quick. You go on a hot streak, you get 6 or 7 in a row. All of a sudden, you're looking at a completely different shift in the standings.
And to give a bit of perspective, you look at the AL East, which has got the Red Sox in there, it's got the Yankees, got the Orioles, etc., and everybody in that division is above 500. So just to add how bad your division currently is, not to rub salt into the wound, but also trying to give a bit of perspective for fans here, just to keep an eye on how the Cubs are going now. We've got 3 weeks until they're over here, and the Cardinals. You can track these two teams, just monitor how things are going, and then you know what exactly is at stake when both teams come to the London Stadium, which makes it even more exciting for fans over here, because we can really generate some interest and, choose your team. Obviously, we're going to choose the Cubs.
It's a fine choice. Highly recommend.
Absolutely. I got my Chicago t-shirt on, although I do have the Cardinals cap in the background. Thing is, my eldest son's called Louis, so he's fallen in love with the idea of St. Louis. He doesn't call it St. Louis, but that's fine. We can have father-son rivalry while we're there. He puts ketchup on his hot dogs. We won't hold it against him. But for UK fans, for Europe fans, because we have baseball fans coming from all across Europe who come over. As you experienced for the NFL games at the Tottenham Stadium, fans travel. European fans come. This is like a central hub for American sport. Whilst it comes over here, and there's huge interest in baseball in the likes of Italy, Netherlands, etc. So they're going to be coming in their numbers. And if you're deciding, okay, I'm going to pick a team, then why don't you just generate some interest? Watch it, and as these games approach, you can look at it and go, hey, hopefully it's the Cardinals have got to win these to keep up with the Cubs. But I don't know, if the Cubs do have to keep up with the Cards, we've got that interest there, and we can root for your team for those 2 games.
That's a great point. I mean, the World Baseball Classic this year was such a big success that I think that did a tremendous job of growing the game, growing fan interest across a lot of these European countries. So hopefully that momentum continues into this series, because it will be the competition will be fierce. These aren't just 2 random games in a 162 game schedule. These are the few games against your rival in a now balanced schedule that the teams have to play. So you don't get to play the Cardinals as much as you used to. You don't get to play the teams in your division as much as you used to. So each game is crucial, because you're not going to have a 6-game stretch later on that you can hopefully make up some games. You've got these games, and you've got one other series in July, and that's it. You don't see him again. Wow. So it is for the Cubs especially to win as many games against the Brewers and against the Cardinals as they can, because the opportunities are not like they used to be in the past.
Ouch. Yeah. And looking at positives for the Chicago Cubs, you've taken those 2 home games away from St. Louis. So you're not going on the road. Okay, you've got to go further on the road, but you're both in it together, and there's no home field advantage.
Yeah, you mentioned the traveling fans, and the Cubs are known. Their fan base is known as being a traveling fan base. They go all over the country in the U.S. here, and there will be a large contingent coming over to the U.K. as well. I know I'm already getting texts and emails and Twitter messages from our listeners who are planning to make the trip, and other Cubs fans that are talking about it. Is there going to be meetups? Is there, what's going on? What are the events looking like out there? And I said, there's all kinds of stuff going. I wish I could be there. I'm not going to be able to go on this trip, but no, definitely a lot of people are making the trip, and I know you'll be plugged into all the events and happenings that are going to be going on that MLB is going to put on for these festivities.
Absolutely. Yeah. Make sure you give us a follow. Also, hit subscribe here on the Transatlantic Sports Show on YouTube. You can find us at TASS_UK right across social media. So Instagram, Twitter, and like I said, here on YouTube. So if you're listening to the Transatlantic Sports Show and you want to see some of the action, we're going to be at the heart of it all. And we're going to be sharing it, showcasing it right here on YouTube Shorts as well, and on Instagram. So at TASS_UK. That's the details appearing at the bottom of your screen as you are watching this. So if you're listening, you're like, oh, I want to jot that down. Go onto YouTube and find us, Transatlantic Sports Show. You mentioned that. I've got to touch on this. The Chicago thing and mustard. So no ketchup. How come? What is this? Educate us so we are ready when we get to the London Stadium.
When it comes to a quality hot dog, the condiments should be complementing the meat and the seasonings that go into that. Ketchup does not do that. Mustard, in fact, enhances the flavors of it. It actually works as a condiment, whereas a hot dog with ketchup on it is just a vehicle to deliver ketchup. So then you can layer on with the other Chicago fixings. You know, you need celery salt, you need onions, you need sport peppers, and there's tomato pickle, and that. All of that goes on to make a fantastic Chicago hot dog.
Man, I am salivating. How do you like your mustard when you put it on? Do you like the mustard cold? I can't have it cold. I gotta put the mustard on, and then I gotta turn the hot dog around just so you know it gets the warmth of the sausage on there. If it's cold, it doesn't hit my palate right.
This is a pro move that I've never considered, and I will. I'm going to give it a go next time. I'm going to give it the twist here next time. And no, I like your pro tip.
Give it the twist, absolutely, man. You know, I've always been a hot dog guy. Mustard on the hot dog. Never really been a ketchup. I used to like ketchup. I used to be mad for ketchup. My granddad used to say,
"We were all children." Yeah, we were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hey, you like ketchup on your hot dog? Grow up. All right. And we've seen some of the food that's coming over here. Oh man, I'll tell you, they have. Do you have like the 2 foot long dogs over there? We've got those coming over. They're back. They're back this time around.
So yeah, there's all kinds of, when you come to Chicago, food is in excess, and we have all kinds of culinary options and varietals of delivering that food. Yeah, for sure.
Man, when you look at you, you're looking so healthy and so slender there. Clearly, you're not having a hot dog a day.
Yeah, no, that is new. That's that takes work here living in Chicago. Yeah, the food isn't it's not free, and yeah, you definitely have to watch that. I am glad I can fit in my shirt. You showed your Chicago shirt. I've got.
Here he is,
for the YouTube fans, showing baseball fan. So this is an Obvious shirt. It comes from the Obvious Shirt Store. Not a sponsor of your podcast, but a great store that I will shout out here because they this shirt came out when they partnered with the Cubs. Ian Happ of the Cubs got everyone on the staff Obvious shirts that said their role on the team: nutritionist, left field. Andrew Chafin was a relief pitcher for the Cubs, and his said failed starter, and so they also had a one that said baseball fan. So I picked this up. The Obvious. I bring up the Obvious shirts because they just released their London series of shirts, getting Cubs fans ready for the London series. So ObviousShirts.com has a whole bunch of fun London shirts to support the Cubs on the London series.
I'll tell you what, guys, on YouTube, as you are listening, I'm sharing some of these images of these London shirts. So if you're listening to this audio podcast, there's some great t-shirts here. London is not boring. I can't see the small
that one's
print
fun
underneath.
because it was inspired by the when Chris Bryant did an interview, he mentioned that St. Louis is boring. So as soon as he said St. Louis is boring, Obvious Shirts came out with a t-shirt that just said St. Louis is boring. It has the there's one up there right now. It's got the Cardinals logo. It just says boring on it. And so so they put out the London is not boring.
Loving that. It's got LDN greater than STL. We know what that means. T-ball. Oh, yeah, sign me up for that. And here you go, baseball fans, UK baseball fans. We all know this. Beer tastes better in Britain. Indeed,
That's right.
I am absolutely loving those. So yes, YouTube fans, YouTube viewers have been able to see those appear on their screen. So if you're listening to this audio podcast, then please check us out on YouTube, Transatlantic Sports Show. Jeremy, you were talking about the Cubs, and they're bottom of the division right now, but it's a long old season. Give us some guys to look out for to get us excited for the London series on the 24th and 25th of June.
There's a lot of exciting players on this team, and there's a lot of guys that are having career years that they are having fantastic years, and you want to keep a lookout for these guys. So the core, I'll mention the Cubs core. I mean, they are Nico Horner, Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson, and a guy who's probably one of the most fun players to watch right now, Seiya Suzuki in right field for the Cubs. That's someone that the London fans should keep an eye on. He is coming into his own here recently, so definitely Seiya Suzuki, a super fun player, part of this Cubs core going forward. On the pitching side, Marcus Stroman has been fantastic. He's the ace of this team. He single-handedly willed the Cubs to victory against the first place Tampa Bay Rays by pitching a complete game shutout at Wrigley Field. He's had a tremendous year, and Justin Steele has emerged as just a key part of this pitching rotation. He just got pulled out of the game yesterday with some forearm tightness, which so we're a little nervous right now to see what this injury looks like for Justin Steele. But if he remains healthy, someone that the fans in London should be paying attention to as well.
Well, wrap him up in cotton wool, get him ready for London. That's what they're doing, building.
And we've got the two kids that just got called up that are very excited. The most exciting player on the Cubs, period, is Christopher Morel, who just got called up. He was crushing the ball in AAA to start the season in the minor leagues. They brought him up here. He went on a tear where he hit 9 home runs in his first 12 games, and he's young. He's got the emotion, the fire. It's infectious. His enthusiasm and how he plays the game, and so it's so much fun to watch Christopher Morel. I recommend it. Anytime he comes up, he will be your favorite player because he's so much fun to watch. So keep a lookout for him, and we're watching the development of Matt Mervis at first base, who is one of the Cubs prospects who was also crushing the ball in AAA. His promotion to the major leagues didn't translate to immediate success. The power hasn't been there yet for him. They call him Mash Mervis, and so the power's not there yet, and he's struggled a little bit in the transition to the major leagues. But he's another guy that we hope and Cubs fans are relying on that he starts to figure it out, and it might line up right in time with that London series. So a guy who, that ballpark lends itself to home runs, a guy who we'd like to see hit some home runs. Those are two guys that could definitely be knocking the balls out of the park there. That's Christopher Morel and Matt Mervis.
Christopher Morel, didn't he hit 5 home runs in a row, with like 5 games in a row?
Exactly,
recently?
in a row. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it lends itself to runs. I think we're going to see home runs aplenty. We did the last time when we had the Red Sox and the Yankees over here. But of course, we have the pitch count now as well. So that 6-all first innings that we had the last time round, it took an hour for that first innings to get through. So I think it was like 5.5, nearly 6 hours the game in total. We're not going to be expecting that long a ball game. So if you were kind of put off last time, you think, oh man, this was going on forever. Don't worry, it's not a test match. We are going to have the Ashes series going on this month. It starts in just a couple of weeks' time. And I think that weekend in London, actually, at Lord's Cricket Ground is England, Australia. So there's another bat and ball event going on in the capital that weekend. But this is by no means a cricket test. This isn't going to go for 5 days and end in a draw.
No, and let me tell you, we at the Wrigleyville Nation podcast, huge fans of the pitch clock. The pitch clock has been one of the greatest baseball inventions of the modern era because it turns out everyone's just messing around and taking way too much time. Batters taking way too much time between pitches, pitchers taking way too much time between pitches. if we all got down to business, we have seen the length of games go from, it was averaging well over 3 hours a game last season. Now the average is around 2 hours, 40 minutes. The complete game shutout I just mentioned that Marcus Stroman pitched, that game was just over 2 hours, 2 hours and 5 minutes. So these 2 hour, 40-minute average, perfect. This is a great way to watch baseball. The pace is picked up. We've gotten rid of a lot of downtime, and action's happening. So definitely pay attention. You will be rewarded for it when you come to these London games.
My youngest is going to be going. It's his first ball game. So my eldest, he went in 2019. He's a bit older now. He's loving baseball. So we got Louis and Ben. We're going to have a family day out. So yeah, I mean that if it flies by with home runs aplenty, what is not to like? Speaking of home runs. Home Run Derby X. We had that in London last year. You'll see the orange ball behind me. That took place at Crystal Palace. It was a red hot baking day last July, but a great day, great fun was had. Well, Home Run Derby X is coming back. It's returning to London on the London Series weekend. So we have the two games on the 24th and the 25th. That is the Saturday and the Sunday at London Stadium. But there is also going to be a London Series Trafalgar Square takeover starting on the Friday the 23rd of June. So a little bit later this month, 3 weeks from time of listening. The doors will open, or the gates will open to Trafalgar Square at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to go long into the night until 10 p.m. And on that Friday, we've got the opening party of the London Series and Home Run Derby X. What is it? It's great fun. You've got MLB legends competing. We've got guys competing for the St. Louis Cardinals, obviously, the Chicago Cubs, the New York Yankees, and the Boston Red Sox. And they literally just sling balls. And throughout, I can't remember how many hits. Let's say they've got 30 hits. 10 or 15 of those 30 hits will feature one of these orange balls that you can see in the background. And they go further. The best part about that is they go flying out into the crowd. You are stood in that crowd. You can grab yourself a home run ball if it lands your way. But if you're in that pen, be prepared. My man Jeremy here is a wrestling fan. Be prepared for a bit of a wrestling fight because you have got to compete with hundreds of others to catch that ball. But it is great fun. And to mark this special occasion, we have a competition. We see this. Again, if you are listening to this audio podcast, check us out on YouTube. Don't worry, I will share this on Instagram as well, or check out our YouTube shorts for competition details. Competition details, even though you're watching this on YouTube, will appear on Twitter. Follow us at TASS_UK. And also on our YouTube shorts. More details about that to come. But look, this is the MLB Home Run Derby X 2022. So it is a vintage. I'll let you know. And on the back, you can see the logos there for each of the teams that are competing. These are the teams that competed at Crystal Palace last year. So this is a money can't buy prize because you can no longer get these Home Run Derby X 2022 caps. So if you want a piece of history, the first Home Run Derby X in London, ahead of the London Series, the Home Run Derby X in 2023. This 2022 cap can be yours. Check us out on Twitter at TASS_UK for more information. Exciting. I'll tell you what, it is good fun though. You want to get yourself down there, Trafalgar Square, there's going to be beer flowing, there'll be deep pan pizza. I don't know if there is going to be deep pan pizza, but it's Chicago, so come on. Guys, if you're listening, get set up with a deep pan pizza. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Get yourself out there. And, after a couple of beers, you're going to be brave going for those balls that are being slung out into center field out there. You are the fielder. Take a mitt. If you've got a baseball mitt, I guarantee it's going to give you a massive advantage against the other people going for those baseballs. But you want a piece of merch that isn't going to cost you anything. It's free entry to the Home Run Derby X. Get yourself down there, Trafalgar Square, on Friday, the 23rd of June. As I say, the doors open at 2 p.m. Good fun, Jeremy. Have you had Home Run Derby X? I know there's the Home Run Derby over there, but have you had this Home Run Derby X? out
We have
there.
not. No, this is a thing for you. We have not had that that I'm aware of. So no, we did. It sounds awesome. So if I was there, I'd be going. I wouldn't miss it. These events are always so well done, and there's always so much fan enthusiasm and just a great time. I wouldn't miss it if I was out there.
It is absolutely awesome. It's got music blaring, and as I said, it's got beer. So, it's got beer, it's got baseball, it's got everything. So it's just great. Jeremy, we can't have you on without talking about your other beloved team, that being the Chicago Bears. Yeah, I think it was pre-draft last time we spoke. You pleased with how the draft has gone? You're looking ahead with optimism. There's no longer an Aaron Rodgers within the division, so it's there for the taking. It's yours, right?
It's pretty exciting. We as Bears fans, we get very excited as the schedule comes out, and we do also we're like, well, how is it not 13-win season? And it's like, because the team did do tremendous strides in plugging some big holes that they had, but there were so many holes on this team that need to be filled that we expect them to be much improved. Their schedule, they are playing a very weak schedule because they were the worst team in football last year. So easy schedule, a lot of holes plugged, and no dominant team in this division. No Aaron Rodgers. That Packers team was already on its way to being in shambles. You've got an improved Lions team to deal with. But the Lions will Lions themselves out of the way, and you've got so it's really interesting to see what happens with the Vikings. So for the Bears, they could be competitive. I expect them to be in the hunt on those graphics for most of the season for a playoff spot potentially. So the door is open to them having a much improved season after having the number one pick.
Improve the offensive line, given Justin Fields weapons. I mean, what's not to like? It's all to play for. And like you say, you look at that NFC and you take out the 49ers and the Eagles, and it's name me a quarterback out there that's going to dominate. And the 49ers don't have that. They've got three, but they don't know who that is going to be.
It's fun to be able to watch the player development of some of these stars and to continue to watch this team improve. We bottomed out. Now we're seeing we get to see the moves being made, and we have a lot of confidence in this front office right now. They're making a lot of moves that make a ton of sense, and we're seeing it go. There's just so much still to do, but going into next season, even if this is a progress year, a growth year, next season the Bears will still be in a great position salary cap wise to make another big splash in free agency.
Absolutely. And you've got those picks as well, so it helped being
absolutely
trade them away. So yeah,
we're feeling good. We're feeling good as Bears fans. This is a lot of optimism right now. We're feeling real good.
There's lessons that can be learned, I think, from the NFL, from the Premier League. It's Man City. Okay, they won the league. We'll see what happens with the Champions League. But if they don't win the treble, then they'll be like, okay, well, we can go out and we can buy whoever we want. There's no sense of parity, but at least in the NFL, unless you're a really, really badly organized team, there's always next season.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And we've seen teams turn. So I'm saying I'm a parallel for your London fans. I'm saying that if the Bears this season have a season like the Jaguars had last season, that is what we want to see. We want to see that progress, right? So the Jaguars took a big step, made the playoffs. This is the kind of progress we want to see, a Jaguars-esque season out of the Bears this year.
London's Jags, baby. London's Jags.
That's right.
Two games this season. So yeah, looking forward to that. Jeremy, thank you so much. And thanks for educating us on the Chicago Cubs ahead of the London series. We'll try and get you back on beforehand, but I know I'm going to jump on your podcast in due course as well, just after Father's Day. So that'll be good fun for people out there who obviously like the sound of your podcast. How can they check you out?
Yeah, and the best way to keep up with all things Cubs is to follow us on Twitter at Wrigleyville NAT. Same for Instagram. WrigleyvilleNation.com is the website that has all the links to subscribe to it. However, you're listening to this podcast right now, you can search that podcatcher and you can just search for Wrigleyville Nation. You will find our podcast. You can subscribe to it there. And we're available everywhere. WrigleyvilleNation.com has all the links you need to listen and support the show.
Fantastic. And what a great show it is as well. So thank you very much, Jeremy. Good luck to your Cubs in the coming weeks, and hopefully by the time you and I chat again, they'll have a few more dubs. They'll be inching towards those pesky Brewers at the top of the division, and yeah, we can laugh down at the St. Louis Cardinals.
Looking forward to it. Always a blast coming on here. Thanks again for having me.
Make sure you check him out there. Wrigleyville Nation podcast. He's a great guy. And as I said, a great listen and a great watch as well. And if you are into your wrestling, then make sure you check out his Twitter handle, because he has a wrestling podcast and a wrestling show as well. So we all know the fandom over here for wrestling. Now, make sure that you follow and subscribe to the Transatlantic Sports Show, because in the coming weeks, we've got NFL players coming over. We have an NFL legend. I promise you there's an NFL legend, a Hall of Famer, who is coming over, and we will talk to him here on the Transatlantic Sports Show. Who? I might be giving something away with the flag in the background. Again, if you're an audio listener, make sure you check us out on YouTube, Transatlantic Sports Show. But plenty of NFL players coming over. So once their OTAs have finished and they've had their mini camps and they go on their breaks because they have to shut down, they're coming over to London. Not all of them, of course, but we've got representatives from each of the teams coming over to the UK. And here on the Transatlantic Sports Show, we will get those exclusive interviews with the stars. And of course, with the MLB London series, we'll be in the thick of it with the Home Run Derby X and those London games. So make sure that you follow us on Instagram, especially, and on YouTube, because those YouTube shorts and the Instagram reels, there'll be plenty of baseball content. So much goodness, including the food, available for you to watch and hopefully, inspire you to go out and experience these fantastic sports that are being shared with us over from the States. We can't get enough of it here on the Transatlantic Sports Show. That's why we're here. I'm Anthony Wootton. Check me out on Twitter at ARWootton, WOOTTON. Instagram, it is at TASS_UK. Plenty more build up to those London Series games. And as I said, more NFL stars coming your way. And a Hall of Famer. Who's that going to be? Well, hit subscribe and you'll find out in due course. Until next time.